In this video, we're going to create a simple tower defense game like the one you can see on screen, where you can spawn some enemies. I've got a little circle which is my mouse cursor where I can spawn various towers and they will automatically shoot at those enemies. So, first thing we need to do is we need to set up some bits and bobs. So we're going to set up our tile set, okay? So I'm going to say let, if I type it right, let tile set, okay? Now, a tile set is essentially like a predetermined grid, let's say, where we can set where things are going to spawn and where things are going to come and things like that. So let's get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do tile set equals like that. It's going to go all the way down to the bottom because we need to put all of our tile sets in here like that. Now it counts as an array, so we need some square brackets like that. And then what we need to do is set what we want. So if I wanted 5 things, I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm doing a 5 by 5 grid. Now what a dot means is an empty space. So for now, I don't really want anything on my tile set because I've not set anything up. Okay, so basically we can set up groups or sprites that when you draw your tile set, it goes ahead and fills those in. So that's what we need to do next. So I'm going to start off real simply with getting some background on there. So I'm going to say let grass group. I want something for the bad guys at some point. I think I'll worry about this later actually. And then I'm just going to set up the path for going right. Okay, so let go. Oops, delete it all though. That's not a good idea. Let's go let right group. Okay, so I'll set up the grass first. So we just got a green background like a grid. So I'm going to say grass group equals a new group. So remember, a group acts a little bit like an array. We can add loads of different features of a sprite. At the minute, it's not going to show anything. Grass.collider equals nothing because we don't want it to collide with anything, it's just a background. Obviously, you can put a picture on there instead if you wanted to, it's absolutely fine. Grass.color equals green because it's grass. And then grass.w. And I'm going to say grid size, I'm going to make a variable for the grid size. Then grass.h equals grid size. So I want all the boxes to be the same. We can change that later on if you want to, but at the moment, let's stick with what I'm used to. Okay, so we've got a nice group there. Again, it's not going to do anything at this point. And then what we're going to do is set up a nice for loop to fill up the whole screen. So for let I equals 0, I is less than the width, not the width, the width divided by the grid size. I'm just going to make this part of the screen a bit smaller so we can see everything. So I'm going to cleanly divide it by the width divided by the grid size, and then I'm going to do the same for the height as well. So for let j equals 0, j is less than floor height divided by grid size, and then j++ like that. Then all I'm going to do is do a new grass.sprite. So I'm going to make a sprite for that, just in case, because what you might do later on is have certain things so you can only interact with certain parts of the grass or whatever. Or you can only place towers on grass or something along those lines. So I times grid size, and then j times grid size. J times grid size, and then starting position we'll say is at 0, 0 for now. Hopefully that something will work. It's not like in my bracket, I put a bracket somewhere where I should have done. And it's because I've not put bracket there, so I'll just pop that in. and then there we go. Hopefully that'll make a nice green grid. Grass is not defined. It's not liking that because I called it grass group. And then fingers crossed now. Grass group, grass group, grass group, grass group. There we go. We've got a nice grid on the screen. So that's our tiles. Not the best because it sort of cuts off a little bit here, but we could always space it out or whatever and not set it at 0, 0. Could set it at 32. 32. How's that going to look? No, it doesn't really make much difference. So we'll keep it at 0, 0 and we'll worry about that later on. Like that. So that's our grid. So it's all sorted, all looking nice. Now I'm going to need to make up our tile sets for our sprites. So I call it right group. So that's equals a new group. Now what I'm going to do is set up a tile for that. So right group dot tile, and I'm going to have that as an equal sign, just so it's sort of like a road when we're looking at it, so it's easy to visualize. We'll set some color for it. So right group dot color. Let's set it to grey, so it's like a path. Right group dot collider equals none because we don't want the collider on there because we're not touching it really. And then right group dot w equals the grid size because that's going to be the same for every single tile. And then right group dot h equals grid size, not divided by h. Dot h equals grid size like that. So that should run absolutely fine. Then what we can do now is I can start placing some tiles in. So if I want like a straight road through the middle of the screen, or for the middle of the grid at least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. I realize you're not going to see that actually because I need to set something up with the tile, so that's my bad. After this part, what you need to do is you need to set some parameters in there. So what we need to do first is say where do we want to start from. So grid size, let's just move it in a little bit, so times 3, so it'll go 3 tiles across, it'll start. Same down, like that. And then now we need to say the width and the height, which is going to be grid size and grid size. So that's just how big is each tile going to be, like that. Okay, that should be everything. Okay, I can't quite see anything just yet. If I mess something up, new helps if you actually set it up as a tile group. Blow my neck. So it's early in the morning. I've not actually set it up as a tile, so new tiles, and then that should go ahead and there we go. Got there in the end, didn't we? So tile set is new tiles. I just did it as brackets, so that was my mistake. And then you see I've got my path in there. So obviously I want to make this bigger. I can add some more equal signs, and it'll make the path longer, and so on. Okay. So that's our going right. So that's nice and easy. So now I'll do the same for going left, for going down, for going up, and so on. So I've already got this done. So I'm going to chuck this across like this. So you see I've got my right group, my left group, and I've set that as a exclamation mark. To go down it's a dash, and to go up it's a star, and they've all got different colours. So if I wanted to just bring this back a little bit, so if I wanted to go like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, then I'm going to go down to here, then I'm going to go back to an equals, and then I might go up, so I can delete that one. So equals there, and then a star to go up, and then equals, and then down. So I've got an equals there. This is where it gets a little bit confusing, to be fair. So going across 2, down 2, across 1, up 1, across, down, down, and then exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, and then I've got this end group which is an X, which is yellow. So hopefully if I run that now, it'll find it all and it'll draw the path, and we can see if I've gone wrong. So it's going to go across 2, not 3. It's going to go down, across, up, across, down, and then left tear. That's our path sorted. Okay. So that's how sort of tiles all set up. Obviously, you can make it bigger if you want to. The original one that you saw on the screen was was a lot bigger. So I'm going to make something for my bad guys. So let's just call it let enemy group. Then I'm going to say enemy group equals a new group like that, and then I'll set the color to red. So baddie group dot color equals red, so we can see him. And then baddie group dot x, so we're going to start the first one. Well, they're always going to start in the same place. So obviously you can change this later on if you want to. Grid size times 3, because that's where we started off the whole thing. Baddie group dot y equals grid size times 3 again. Then I'm going to do the width and height to be half of the grid size. So baddie, I keep going because I've called it baddie group in my old program because I'll have it. I seem to call everything baddies. Like, I don't know. Clearly I'm too old. So width equals grid size divided by 2, and then exactly the same for the height. I just change it to a H. I don't want a collider again, so enemy group dot collider equals none, because I'm not like interacting with things necessarily. And that's pretty much it. There's some other bits I want to add in later on, like spawn towers and stuff, but that's it. Okay, so that's our setup function sorted. Now I've realised that I'm just making mistakes all day today. So everything I've just done is correct. However, it's in the wrong place. So I'm just going to cut that out, and that should be in your setup function as usual, and then we can get to the draw. So yeah, so that was not ideal. So now what I want to do is start spawning our dudes. So I'm going to make a function called spawn, which we'll fill in later on. And then what I want to do is add in some movement. So for let I equals 0, I is less than enemy group dot length, I plus plus, like that. And what I'm going to do is a big if statement. So I'm going to say if enemy group I dot overlapping with, and I need to do this for each group. So I'll start with the down group. And then what I'm going to do here is put this little thing in here. So I'll put greater than 20. So what overlapping does is it returns how many frames you're touching that sprite for. Now the reason I'm doing that is that otherwise, as soon as it touches this group here, it'll just go down. So it'll actually be walking on the grass and not on the path. So it just delays it slightly, which is useful. And I'm going to say baddie group I dot move. You're going to move grid size. I'm going to move across each thing, and then what direction, and then how fast. So that's that one, and I can copy this multiple times now. So I can do that. So if I'm doing down group, up group, so the code's exactly the same. Right group, I'm going to go right. Left group, I'm going to go left. That's pretty much that part done. I probably want something if I'm touching the end group as well, which is the yellow one. I might just stick a no loop in there. So I've already got, again, I'm just talking about this baddie group every time. You stop talking about it. It's just in my last 2 programs for the Space Invaders, I called it baddie group, so I keep saying the same thing. So then I can just copy this again one last time, and then it'll be end group. Okay, so that should be fine unless I've written baddie group somewhere else. So now we're going to do our spawn. Okay, so I'm going to make a nice new function here called spawn. So function, spell it right, Reese. Come on. And then all I'm going to do is a little timer. So if seconds less than or equal to 120, it's like 2 seconds or so, and the frame count. So it's the same spawning as all the other games I've done. just using the same thing. There's better way. You can use like time delays and things. I just haven't really explored that too much myself yet. Like that, and I'm just going to say new baddie group, enemy group, not baddie group, dot sprite, like that. And that, what I should do is go ahead and spawn that. I just need to have a variable at the top for seconds, so I'll just do let seconds equals 10. That seems to work usually. Then hopefully we should start to see something. So it's a little bit off. So I said grid size times 3. So does it need to be 4? When I start that off, the enemy group, should we try that? I could just put a direct number in as well, so but make our lives easier. Okay, so that's worked. It's a little bit off there because the X is a bit too far across, but you see there, those are now following that path pretty much spawn now. So it should every couple of seconds spawn a red block that moves and follows my path based on those different tiles. And obviously I can change the colour so it doesn't look silly. And then I can just do, if it touches the end group, I can just say no loop for now, which will just stop the game so I've lost. But obviously there you can put in lives and things like that. So let's just check that works. So come in there, goes round and stops. So perfect. That's pretty much exactly what we want. Okay, so that's the first part completed. Okay, so now we need some sort of way of creating towers and shooting. Okay, so I'm going to make a new function here called tower. So function tower. What that's going to do is that's just going to spawn a tower on mouse click. So if mouse dot released, and I'm going to say new tower group dot sprite. I'm going to spawn that on the mouse for now. Obviously you can put in some blocks so you can put it in certain places if you want. Mouse.x, mouse.y, grid size, and grid size like that, and no collider. Now I don't think I've sorted out my tower group yet, so let's make that now. So let tower group, and we can go ahead and just make it at the bottom here. So tower group equals a new group like that, and then we can do our bits and bobs for our tower group. So fairly easy. So there's not going to be a lot in there. It's just gonna make a square. So it doesn't have to do anything at this point. So minute a group so we can have multiple. Now it should make us a group. Doesn't seem to be doing much at the moment. So let's just see what we've done wrong. I'm sure we've done something. So let's just see if we spelled everything right. So tower group, new tower group dot sprite. So we just need to check that this works. So we can just do. Oh, I've not called the function, have I? That's pretty rookie. So I need to do that. So let's just stick in. Not in there. Let's just do it near spawn. So it's going to constantly look and see if I'm clicking things. So there, it's definitely running because it's spawning those towers. But it doesn't seem to be checking if I've released my mouse. So let's just put the brackets in. That should work now. Now it should be checking constantly, and then now I can spawn these towers that don't do anything at this moment in time. So the next thing I want to do is have it so these towers can shoot. So let's make a function called shoot. Function shoot, and then what we're going to do is go through our towers, make bullets, and shoot them basically. Pretty easy, and do that on another timer like we did for the last one. So we can take this out, we can copy that, and then put that in. So if if it's every 2 seconds or whatever, then for every tower, so for let I equals 0, I is less than tower dot length, I++, like that. Then what I'm going to do now is, I haven't made a group for my bullets yet, so I'm just going to do bullet group equals new group, like that. I'm going to make it at the top, so that bullet group like that, so we can now make lots of the same thing. And I'm going to say let bullet equals new bullet group dot sprite, like that. Now, if I'm honest with you, I could do something slightly different with this one, but for at the moment, I'll just create it all inside. It's probably a little bit inefficient, but oh well. So let's do. We want to do it for each tower that's spawned. We want to spawn the bullets on the right tower. So tower group I.y, and that's pretty much it. And then what we need to do is just set some things for it. So bullet dot diameter equals 5. Just want bullets to be small. Bullet dot direction equals bullet dot angle 2. The mouse has clicked off. Direction equals bullet dot angle 2, and then tower group. So basically, it's going to get the angle from the tower itself. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different thing. Well, so it only shoots the front bad guy for now. Let's call it the right thing as well. But yeah, that should work. And then I can do bullet dot collider equals. I think it could be set as an N, but I found some times when you're doing collisions and stuff like that with an N, it doesn't work that well. Bullet dot speed equals 1, and then bullet dot overlaps, and then enemy group, and then I'm going to call a function called kill, and all that's going to do is I can make that here. Function kill. I'm going to pass in the enemy and the bullet that has collided, and then just get rid of them. So enemy dot remove bullet dot remove, like that. So let's see if that works. So it should spawn our things if it works. Like that. I can make a tower, and then it should be shooting. It doesn't seem to be shooting, so that's possibly because I've not called to shoot, to be fair. So tower, and then let's call shoot. Always good to, when you make a function, to actually use the function. So we go, and then there we go. It's always trying to shoot this front guy like that. So that's worked. That's pretty much it. I can change my tile set to be the tile set I made in my previous game. I can just copy and paste that across so you can see it on a bigger map like that. So it's bigger now, and I can spawn my towers. Now I see it's slightly off because I just need to change that back to what it was before, which is grid size times 3, like that. Now it should spawn in the right place now, and I can spawn my towers. They're going to try and shoot that front bad guy. Obviously, a bit of collateral damage it seems to be shooting. Seems to be going for him, but slightly missing because the speed's quite off. But obviously that's part of your game mechanic. You can make bullets faster or whatever. You don't want it just to automatically kill them all because then it'd be too easy. But that's it. That's the game. So things you want to add in is maybe like a score, how many you kill. You might want to add in different tower types with like bigger bombs, so you can like splash damage and things. Obviously animations, make it look nicer. And have it so you lose lives and then have waves and all sorts of things. There's loads of things you can go with this. So, but I'll leave that for you guys to do. So hopefully that was nice and easy. Hopefully, despite my mistakes, because I mean it's not that early if I'm honest with you, but I'm pretty tired. I didn't wake up that much. I woke up pretty soon before doing this. So like and subscribe. Share your things in the comments. Anything decent you've got, and I will see you in the next video.